and they have received this information through alerts that this is a state of emergency that has now been declared. But this is a confirmation now coming in that there has been a very much US involvement and participation in these joint strikes that has been carried out right in the heart of Tehran. Well, Srinjoy, now we've got the confirmation now. So Israel and US both being a part of these joint strikes.
Yes, the only warning we got of this was President Trump saying last night that he was very unhappy with the way the talks have been progressing. Now, what have the Americans hit? Have they hit defense facilities? Have they hit nuclear facilities? Have they hit infrastructure facilities? We don't know. But yes, if there is confirmation, the Americans have struck as well, along with the Israelis. So it's a joint effort. And clearly now we have to see how the Iranians take this up and what they will do. Because they have their missiles, they have their military, they have their gunboats, which are all, and let's not forget, these carrier groups are all close by. So what will Iran do, and what are the other things that Israel and America have in mind?
And the timing, Srinjoy, because were they waiting that the Indian Prime Minister's visit gets over? It's not been even 48 hours. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was there addressing the parliament there in Israel.
Yes, of course. You couldn't have expected an Israeli attack on Iran while Prime Minister Modi was there. There's no question of that. So there are issues there, safety, security, all of that. But since Prime Minister is no longer in Israel, in Jerusalem or Tel Aviv, then there is an opportunity. And this window is the one that has been used by Israel and the United States.
Absolutely. So joint exercise that it seems, because there has been a lot of military buildup as well in the seas. And now it seems that these strikes that have been carried out, advisory that was also given. And this was a clear one, leave Iran. And that came in from multiple countries, including India, for its citizens, saying, leave Iran as soon as possible.
Yes, that happened. That was done. We know the American buildup is very strong. We know that the Americans already had the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group. Then, along with that, the Gerald Ford, another carrier strike group, was moved. Plus, there are other guided missile destroyers that were sent, littoral warships that were sent. The B-2 bombers are in Diego Garcia. So the American buildup is exceptional. It's a huge buildup. And you don't build up something like this to just as a warning. This is very, very clear that this is something that was planned and has just begun. The execution has just begun.
So will the target now be Khamenei? Will they be coming after Khamenei now?
That's hard to say. You would expect the following to be targeted. First, radar stations. That's absolutely, that's the first thing the Americans you would expect would do. The radar stations. Then the military infrastructure, particularly airfields, that would be hit. Then, of course, other defense installations and possibly infrastructure. The cities would perhaps be last on that list.
Let's get you what we know so far. Srinjoy Chaudhary is joining us live. This is the biggest global story that we're reporting here on Times Now. It started with Israel confirming that it launched a preemptive strike on Iran. After that, the defense minister in Israel also declared a state of emergency. But now, the story changes entirely because we're getting confirmation from the media in the United States that this was a joint strike between Israel and the United States on Iran. And this changes the story entirely. Srinjoy stays with us. In the latest, we're getting confirmation that it is US and Israel that launched a joint strike on Iran. Missiles are flying. A state of emergency has been declared in Israel. What does this mean? What are we looking at? Middle East once again has spiraled into this state of confrontation.
Yes, undoubtedly, there are two things that have to be looked at now. How has the fighting happened so far? What has America done? America, you would expect, has hit with missiles. Cruise missiles, probably. That's the first thing. The second thing that must be remembered is what is Iran going to do? They have cruise missiles, they have ballistic missiles, which are short range and medium range. Now, America has there are many targets for Iran there. You will have people in Bahrain. You will have Qatar. You will have all these carrier groups. You will have other military, like the destroyers, guided missile destroyers, the littoral ships. They are all there, Persian Gulf and so on. So Iran will naturally look at hitting back. What it will do, when it will do, of course, that's up to the Iranians.